How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a statue of George Washington in Portland, Oregon, that has been desecrated with all kind of crazy graffiti, 1619, Big Floyd, talking about George Floyd, all kind of things, from top to bottom, desecrated, then beat down and toppled, and then draped with a burning American flag. Not a Confederate flag, an American flag. Stars, stripes, the same one I have on my wall right here behind me, that was burning and draped over the statue of George Washington. Now, are you surprised at this? Are you truly surprised? Can you be surprised? I've spoken about this before. I said, hey, when you start to remove certain statues and monuments you don't like, Confederate generals, all this, that, and the third, you're going to see George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, everybody from the past, maybe even current, that will be removed. Okay, that is the actual end game. That's why I say don't tear anything down. Don't tear the Confederates. Don't tell nothing. Keep everything up so we don't lose history, so we don't try to rewrite history. That is the ultimate goal. See, I understand the way these people think. And I've been saying it for years. I've been predicting it. I've been calling it. And time again, I get proven right. I know what I'm talking about because I see how people think. I know how they operate because I was on their side at one point in time. Okay, I had the inside track. I know that you do one thing to try and accomplish something else. You remove the statue of Robert E. Lee. Oh, it's not really a big deal. Put it into a museum. We don't want to see the traitors. We don't want to see this symbol that hurts black people. First of all, nobody ever really thought that the statue is just so painful and hurtful. Nobody cares. A lot of times these statues get removed in places that nobody knew that even existed. You had to go try to find it. Like there's a statue in Virginia Beach that is, I guess, somehow problematic way out there in Nemo Parkway at the courthouse. Like you got to really go out your way to find it. It's not like easy to see. And even those that are kind of easy to see, people don't really care about that much. A statue is an inanimate object. Nobody really cares until it becomes something people want to get attention for on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, wherever else they want to do, or just in the news media, newspapers, television. They want to get attention that way from tearing down the statue, but nobody actually cares. Okay. But then when it happens, there's always going to be the next thing. It's never just, oh, the statue of Robert E. Lee. It's never just that. Then it becomes, what about that guy? And that guy, he was mean. He owned slaves. He was not a righteous person. He cheated on his wife or whatever it is. Let's tear that down too. So now we have a statue of George Washington being desecrated, beat down, burnt up, and everything else, along with the American flag you see behind me. Okay, this one right here, I guess the non-racist one. Really, these are the same flag. They all have 13 stripes on it, which represent the same thing as the 13 star filter this one has. They say this is a racist flag, but it's the same as that one. Okay, but let's go back to what I was saying. When you want to tear down history that you don't like, you're going to end up trying to rewrite it and tear down all history. Nancy Pelosi is taking down portraits of former speakers of the House because they were involved with the Confederacy. But these guys were not speakers of the House during the Confederacy. They were speakers of the House in the Union. Most of the guys were speakers long before there was even the Confederacy, long before it existed. And then I think one guy was a speaker after the Confederacy. So what's the point in taking those pictures down? It doesn't make any sense. And Nancy Pelosi has some kind of nerve. Her father dedicated a statue of Robert E. Lee in Baltimore in the 1940s. So, I mean, are you going to tear that one down? Why don't I tear down your picture and statue, whatever you have for yourself and also your father because of that action? It's just ridiculous. When does it end? Don't tear down anything. Leave everything up so we know the full context, the full history. Keep Robert E. Lee. Keep Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Nathan Bedford Forrest. Keep everything up. Don't just tear down things you think are offensive, okay, because they're racist or whatever. It makes no sense. Now, here's the arguments I hear. Oh, well, the statues of the Confederates, they're racist. Well, define racist. What does racist mean? Oh, if you're a slaveholder, that's George Washington. That's Thomas Jefferson. Okay, so you have these guys on your monies. You have Washington, D.C., Washington State. You have the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Monument. So are we going to tear those down? Are we going to start to rename states? Are we going to rename schools and cities and roads, are we going to rename those? What are we really going to do about these particular so-called problematic places because of racism and the history of these men? I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. And then if that's not going to be what they say, okay, it's not about racism because everybody was racist or whatever. It's about being a traitor. The Confederates were traitors. Well, what do you call George Washington? He was a traitor too, because let's not forget, before 1776, where we are right now, were English colonies for the most part. You might have some French, Spanish, or whatever, but mostly we were part of the Kingdom of Great Britain. And then we had the Revolutionary War to break away from the Kingdom of Great Britain. Okay, then they're going to say, oh, we won. So I guess being a traitor is fine if you win. Then they say, well, there's no statues of George Washington over in UK. Maybe that's true. I think there might be one statue of him over there. But let's just say for this argument that it is true. So what? Okay, that's over there. There were no American colonies in the United Kingdom, like on the actual landmass of Britain, of the island of Great Britain or Ireland or anywhere else. It was over here. So why not have the statues here? Okay. They're removing statues from South Carolina of former presidents, former vice presidents. It's like once you actually finish, you only have like Barack Obama. But then when they figure out that his mother, I think her name was Ann Dunham, was a descendant of a slave owner, are they going to remove him too because he has slave owner blood in him? Without a slave owner existing, then Barack Obama couldn't exist. I mean, if I'm wrong, let me know. Like, if his mother is descended from a slave owner, then that means he cannot exist without a slave owner existing. This whole thing is just really weird. When you start trying to pick and choose what's right and what's wrong, everybody has their opinion. People are going to say that the Confederates are wrong and they should be removed. And, Dukes of Hazzard should be removed, and everything that deals with the Confederacy at all, Gone with the Wind, they're going to say that all should be removed. We're at the point where we're taking black folks off of food products, iconic images from 130 years ago. We're taking them off because they're so-called offensive, although they're clearly not. But that's what you do when you just let one thing happen. You allow other things to happen. The left, when they are given an inch, they'll take 20,000 miles. That's pretty much how they operate. Don't tear anything down. Put those photos back up, Nancy Pelosi, and stop with the nonsense. The next thing would be Mount Rushmore, to blow that up. I would not be surprised if there was some kind of attack to try and send a missile or a bomb or something to Mount Rushmore. I would not be surprised. Same thing, Washington, Miami, all that kind of stuff. I'm glad that you have protection in D.C. with the federals and everybody else to prevent these monuments from being destroyed, because that's going to be next. It was still slaves here when George Washington was around. He had hundreds of slaves. That's going to be next. Leave everything up. I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Could you have predicted that they would have torn down the statue of George Washington and then draped a burning American flag on top? And that's your viewpoint. Let me know why in the comments below. Or do you think that, tearing down that statue is too far, but tearing down the Confederate statues is okay? If you feel that way, let me know why in the comments below. Or do you feel like I feel? Keep everything up. Let's not cherry pick. People are not going to like certain statues and certain people. That's in general. People don't like the best people. Somebody with no flaws that were present back then or today. Judging them based on yesterday's standards, they were saints, as well as today's standards, they're still saints. But people still don't like them for whatever the reason may be. What people feel and their feelings should not dictate our policy, how we look at history. It's history, and that's it. And that's pretty much where it should be. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.